Welcome to Build It for the Web, where we build cool web components step by step so we know exactly how the code behind it works. Today we're going to build a 3D stacked square loader. On the screen you can see what that will look like. 3D squares appearing from left and right, going downwards a couple of steps and then smoothly disappearing again. Okay, let's start coding. First, let's create a couple of HTML elements. A wrapper div with the class loader, a div with the class box, and inside that div let's create 3 child divs with the following classes: side top, side left, and side right. We're going to build our squares with these child divs. Let's go over to styling. Let's set a width and height for our loader element and give the box element position relative. We're going to start with styling the top of our 3D square. First, it will be just a simple square. As you can see, it's a little small, so let's scale it up a bit. Then we're going to rotate and skew the element to make it look like the top of a square. Now let's create the left and right side of the square. We'll give the elements for it some dimensions, we'll position them and skew them to make it look like the left and right side of a 3D square. The square is not yet centered in our container. We can fix that by setting the position left value of the box element. The next step in our process is creating the animation. We're going to do it step by step. The first step is making our 3D square appear from either the right or left side. We're going to use keyframes for that, and we'll use a CSS variable to determine from which side the square will appear. We'll set the keyframe animation on our box by using the animation property. Let's set the from direction CSS variable to -1 on our box element to make it appear from the left side. Okay, great. The square appears from the left side. Now let's make the square drop down gradually until it disappears by creating the keyframes for that. We'll gradually increase the y value of the translate function for this. As you can see, we have now finished our animation for our 3D square. Now we're ready to create our second square and make it appear from the right side. We'll set up the same HTML as our first box element, but now we give the from direction CSS variable the value 1 so that it appears from the right. If we just set the animation on our box 2 element, the squares will overlap. We want them to stack on top of each other, so we will set the animation delay property to 1 second so that it will appear a little later. The final step is to set up the third and fourth box by using the same HTML structure as our previous boxes. We're going to set the drop-down animation on them and also will set the proper animation delay value. As you can see, this is the final result. The original code for this loader can be found on uiverse.io. uiverse.io has a lot of really nice looking components that can be quite complex sometimes. If there are any components that you would like me to explain, let me know in the comments. Until next time, bye bye.